Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. I'm Frank. So, my Iron Man suit's gone through a lot of upgrades since I built it. I've redone the paint, I've battle damaged the paint, I've upgraded the helmets, I've made it fit better. But one thing I haven't really talked about in quite a while are the upgrades I've made to the lights. Let's talk about it. So for any of you that have been following me for a while or recently watched my Mark 85 build videos, I'll link them somewhere in this video, you know I started out with these 12 volt LED lights and they need a 12 volt battery pack. I've since gone and ditched these and upgraded them for programmable Neopixel LEDs. And what's a Neopixel, how are they programmable, and what the heck are you talking about? Well, in this video, I want to explain a couple different things I've learned since doing these initial lights, why I changed to these new lights, and a couple different systems you guys can use to put in your Iron Man suits, your Halo suits. It can really be applied to anything you need it to. We're really just talking about the electronics and lighting, and then I'll take you through a little tour of the lights I have in my suit, why I think they work and what might work for you, and how to install them. So let's get to it. So I think when dealing with electronics and adding them to something like an Iron Man suit, some people might go a little bit crazy right off the bat and kind of psych themselves out. Now you can go crazy with programmable Neopixels that can do everything under the sun, or you can go to the dollar store and just get some cheap lights and throw them in your suit. This is literally a 3-pack for $1 little light you get at the store, and if you crack this thing open, you're left with a super tiny LED that's already pre-wired with a little button. Go ahead and wire that to a 5-volt USB battery pack, and you have a light that you can put anywhere in an Iron Man suit, especially a repulsor, and it's already wired up for you. Like, this is great. This is how disgustingly simple you can get when wiring and adding lights to your suit, and you can upgrade it from here. Now, I'm a big proponent for the analog system because this is going to teach you about circuits and diagrams. You don't need to worry about coding or programming. This is literally how electricity works. It flows around in one way. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that. You can go look up Veritasium if you want to learn more. Don't even get me started. But basically, positive to negative, there's a light in the way. You're going to interrupt it with a switch or a button, and then it just goes back to negative. Kind of simple. You can also hop on Amazon or eBay or even go to some electronic stores and get little pre-wired LEDs that you can stick all over the suit. You don't need to rip apart electronics to extract them from. They're just going to be wired positive, negative, and you can get really any color you want. Just make sure that they're resisted and you're not going to blow them out by putting too much power to them. If you really want to get creative or lazy, whichever way you want to look at it, I think it's creative, you can go to like the dollar store or Walmart or Five Below and get pre-wired, pre-programmed, controllable LED strips that you can throw in your suit and do whatever you want with. This is pretty awesome. Something like this would look great in like an Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet for the final snap. Look, it's already covering my arm. Ha! Now, you guys saw me use these original 12 volt LEDs. These are COB LEDs and they need 12 volts to work. You can't run them off a 5 volt or 3 volt. Now, I did this because this is what I know coming from the car world. However, this had a lot of drawbacks. Because I decided to go with a 12 volt system for powering the suit lights, I still needed to add a 5 volt USB battery pack to power the LED eyes, and if I wanted to do the servos, I had to use a 5 volt or a 3 volt, so it really just added all the different systems I needed in the suit. It was very easy for me to understand and do, but it's not always optimal when you're trying to save space and you don't want to have 5 or 6 battery packs hidden around the suit. They also get really warm, like really, really, really warm, and that actually kind of warped a few parts of the suit if I left them on too long. But aside from that, they weren't bad and they taught me a lot about placement and lighting on the suit itself. So I upgraded. Now you don't immediately need to jump into coding and programming. You can then look up something like 5 volt Piranha LEDs. I'll make an Amazon cart of some good LEDs you could start with that don't need any type of coding or Arduinos to power them, and you can just wire them all up to your suit and throw them in. Things like USB battery packs are great for powering the suits because you can just wire up simple USB plugs, plug them in, and then your suit's ready to go and you can recharge on the fly. But if that's not your cup of tea, you can actually get these cool little battery packs that take, 4 or 5 AA or AAA batteries, and they have something called a barrel connector at the end, and you can use this to power your suit if you just want to do rechargeable batteries or you don't want to use a USB pack. But I myself decided to skip that step I just talked about, and I went right for the cream of the crop. Neopixels. Now, as far as I understand, Neopixel is kind of the Band-Aid name for these. Like, you don't actually call a bandage a Band-Aid, even though a Band-Aid is the brand, not the thing. Neopixel kind of took that over. They're individually addressable LEDs. This is an 8x8 Neopixel matrix, and what I can do with this board is program each and every single one of these lights to be a different color. Red, green, blue, yellow, red, green, fuchsia. It doesn't matter. Each one of them is completely addressable, and I can change the color because it's an RGB LED
LED to any color I want. This is actually the exact board I have in the chest of my Iron Man suit, and it's not quite pure white. I was able to change the blues and the tints and hues of it to get it more of that Iron Man cool blue rather than pure white. Now, because coding's involved, you do need something to actually control the Neopixels. You need an Arduino or some equivalent microcontroller board to change the colors, to tell the signal to turn on. It's a little bit more advanced than just a simple on-off switch, but really when you look at the code, it really is just an on-off switch. Now, I am not the person to talk about programming Neopixels and LEDs. I am still learning myself, but I will link some resources down below. What I'm also going to do is drop a Google Drive folder down below that has the code I'm using for my entire suit. Now, this might not work on your Iron Man suit. This is going to be very tricky, and it's made for the Crashworks and Alicia boards, which I'll link those down below too, and I'll link a video on how you use the Crashworks board to control an Iron Man helmet and all that fun stuff. It's really, really awesome, and it's a great time to be an Iron Man builder because these little boards right here are really something special. But in that same video, I do show you how to bypass this board completely. You don't need the Crashworks board. You can just wire everything up to the Arduino itself, and then you can build on from there. Though it's meant to power a helmet, it has enough output to also power the lights on your suit, control all of that. It's really awesome stuff. Now, I think one big key factor that some people just don't consider when they're building their suits is upgradability in their future endeavors. This is something I really took into consideration when I started my project was, how am I going to be upgrading this in the future? So I did everything I could to make everything modular and easily removable. If you're using the Cosplay LED eyes, this is great. You can power them right off the battery pack, or eventually you can add them to an Arduino or some type of microcontroller board. If you're adding a bunch of LEDs, maybe you don't, super glue them into place. Maybe try something like hot glue. This way you can always remove components in the future. But I'm actually getting a little ahead of myself. Let's actually look at my suit, and I can show you how I've incorporated all of these lights, a bunch of different special plugs and connectors, and my thought process on how I can continue to upgrade the suit and what that all looks like. Hey guys, so quick little thing I want to talk about. As a lot of you know, I really enjoy doing live streams on YouTube, and I want to start expanding that, especially as I'm about to go full time with all of this. Now, while the YouTube, website and app works great, there's other programs you can use to stream to your social medias like Twitch and YouTube and really anything you want. In my case, I use a program called OBS Studio. It's a really awesome free program you can use to do streams, to set up, skins and all of this great stuff. You can pull multiple camera sources and audio sources, stream your screen and games and all this fun stuff. However, since it's free, sometimes it can seem a little plain or confusing on how to get the most out of the program. But thanks to today's sponsor, Skillshare, I was able to learn a lot more about using OBS. I just got done with a class called Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Open Broadcaster Software. The class was ran by Nick Nixon, a YouTuber and content creator, and he made everything super easy to understand and taught me a lot of tricks about OBS that I had no idea about. Some of you might be looking into doing content creation like this and really excited about getting into live streaming and being able to interact with your audience like that. It's one of my favorite parts of being a content creator. And just like everything on Skillshare, these were laid out in nice little bite-sized chunks. However, I decided to binge it all the way through, and I came out the other end learning so much more than I did when I started. And Skillshare just doesn't stop at like programming and software. If you like art, cooking, travel, music, there's so many different classes you can choose from. So if you're ready to start exploring some creativity and you want to learn a new skill, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to use the link down below will get a free trial of premium membership. So hopefully you can learn something like I did. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it.
Now, I have 3 different types of Neopixels scattered across my suit. First up is that 8x8 Neopixel matrix that's sitting behind my arc reactor, and you can really see the LEDs kind of glaring through it right now due to the brightness of the camera, but when I back up and everything brightens back up, it definitely blends in a lot better. Next up are the body lights scattered around the suit. These are Neopixel jewels, and not only do they provide the body lights, they're actually what I use in my repulsors here, and if you can kind of tell through the video, this is a little bit more of a bluer tint. This is max power all bright white, and they're a perfect fit for the glove. But if I zoom in and the brightness dies down, you can start to see the 7 individual LEDs. Last are the Neopixel Floras. These are individual LEDs that I use for my Infinity Gauntlet, and unfortunately I can't really show you them because they're covered, but they're just individual LEDs that are sitting behind each stone, and I was able to address each light a different color. Though I can turn these off and you can see the stones are the appropriate colors, yellow and blue and purple, the lights that I have under them make them that much better. It's not just a white bright light, it's actually yellow and orange and red or whatever the heck, and they're super small and they're daisy chained together. It's hard to see here, but I actually have those little floras in the back of the helmet. They're positioned awfully, but they're on the back of the helmet so I don't care. The other LEDs I have are obviously the Cosplay LED eyes. These aren't addressable. These are just things you get on AliExpress, but I'm going to link all of these lights down below in a cart. You don't need to get them from Adafruit. They sell stuff like this on Amazon too, which is great. But let me open the suit up and show you some of the wire management and how I installed these lights in the suit itself. All right, so here is the innards of my suit, and it's a little bit of a rat's nest. So we're actually gonna start a little more basic, and let's look in my chest plate here, which I've just recently cleaned up. Now up here, you can see the Neopixel jewels, and I have them hot glued in up there, they're down here, and this way I can just melt the hot glue with a soldering iron or a heat gun and pull the lights off. I did want to incorporate some type of system where they were like velcroed in or latched in. I just never got around to it, and this seems to work just fine. But you'll notice each one has a special connector that I've soldered to it. These are 5-pin JST connectors that I've shown before, but again, I'm going to make a cart for all of this stuff so you can at least see what I'm talking about. Now, if this Neopixel ever burns out, I can easily melt it out, unplug it, and put a new one right in there. It's super simple and it's modular. The same thing with this Neopixel matrix here that I have it plugged into. This way I can remove it. I can also separate the chest and the abs with this little plug right here, so nothing's locked together. Again, it's all modular. And then you can see this wire that runs all the way to the back. This way I can connect the chest in the front to the back. It's super simple. Now, something I absolutely implore you to consider is who's going to be helping you put this thing on. Now, while it would be great to be able to suit up by yourself 100% of the time, usually that's not how things go, and I don't know many people who can suit up fully by themselves. So when you're laying all of the plugs and the wires out, really take into consideration how easily it can go together, because worst case scenario, you might be explaining this to somebody who has no idea what you're talking about. I actually found myself in a situation like that where I had a helper at a convention or event helping me suit up, and I'm trying to explain to her what all these plugs are, and she was getting confused because I just didn't lay things out properly. Now, if you're confident that you'll always have somebody who knows what they're talking about, that's totally great, but really it makes it a lot easier if it's just you cannot mess it up. One plug, it can only go into itself. It's easy to explain. I can actually show you exactly what I mean about this. While my helmet's on the armor stand, I actually have a little wire extension just so it's easier to take the helmet on and off. But when I'm not wearing, when it's not on the armor stand, I actually made sure that the plugs are flipped. I use 2 plugs for my helmet, and you can't mess them up because one's male-female, the other is female-male. So there's no way to mess it up if somebody who has no idea what I'm talking about goes to unplug my helmet and plug it back in. They literally can't mess it up. It's the same thing when looking at my glove. There's literally only one plug, and it's a 5-pin, and then for the little repulsor back here, there's another little one, but it cannot possibly go into this plug. Now, the other thing I want to try to explain is why I have so many extra plugs hiding around here. Now, I could clean all of this up, I could wire loom everything, I can make it all look pretty, but then when maintenance comes, it's going to be harder to isolate those wires. Moving your wrist around, moving your arms, taking the suit on and off, wires are going to break. I think this is just unavoidable if you're going to be wearing the suit a lot. Things are going to break, wires are going to fray, they are delicate. So I made sure to leave everything open, and I also went and labeled everything. Suit signal, stone signal, everything is unpluggable. I can even take the Velcro board out if I need to, reprogram it, do whatever I want. Everything was made modular. The same with the USB battery pack. It's Velcro. I can pop it out, charge it, pop it right back in. And for even more simplicity, hiding right back here is a little toggle switch so somebody else can reach into my suit, and if I want to save power, I can turn it off and they can just reach in, feel it, flip it on. It's very easy to describe a little black switch that's hiding in the armpit rather than having to reach in and reset the Arduino or turn on the battery pack. They flip that black switch and then everything turns on. But everything you've seen here is everything I've already kind of shown you guys. JST connectors, little plugs, cable management. Another little trick I like for wire management is wrap the wires in a little bit of electrical tape and then hot glue or super glue the electrical tape to the suit. This way, if I ever want to remove those wires, I just have to cut that tape and peel it right off. Or you can use Velcro, however you feel like it.
Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to talk about is this really awesome stuff called 5-wire, or 6-wire, or 8-wire, or 10-wire, or 20-wire. There's a couple different names from it. And this is just one long solid white wire. But if you strip it back and open it up, you're gonna find that this actually has 6 other wires in it. Now this is amazing for cable management. This is what I have running through my arms. This is what I have hooked up to the lights and the wrists and all of that. And if there's a red wire on this side, if I cut this open anywhere along the trail, there's gonna be a red wire in there. So this is great for wiring up suits and just connecting connectors to. Like I said, you can get this in a couple different variations. I have 5-wire, 6-wire, and I think I have 10-wire sitting somewhere, and it's great. However, they don't ship it to you like bundled up, so I just used an empty spool holder, and now I know what I'm going to do with my Christmas lights.
The other thing I like about these Neopixels is you don't need as many wires in your suit as you think you do. My Infinity Stone hand topper here only has 3 wires going to it, and I have, 6 LEDs in there. Because like I said before, I'm able to daisy chain them. I have a positive and negative, and then I have a signal wire that goes to the yellow, and then it goes to the orange, and then the red, the blue, the purple, and green, and it just goes in a snake pattern, and that's it. Then if I wanted to, I can go in there and change the color of any stone, the brightness, I can make them flash, flicker, but that's all stuff that's way beyond me right now. Like I said, I'm still learning. So that's kind of going to wrap this up, guys. I know that was a lot to throw at you, and I know some of you might have come here looking for like a step-by-step tutorial on adding lights and soldering everything, but I do have a couple other videos that go over that. But again, I'll link down below, but it was kind of supposed to be a lot. There's a lot that goes into this stuff. I can't cover it in one video. I could barely cover it in one whole series that's still kind of ongoing. If this was easy, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel dedicated to most of this because everybody would be able to figure it out at home, but I wanted to share with you guys things I've changed, learned, upgraded, and the reasons why. I wouldn't be where I'm at if you guys didn't talk back to me, if I didn't meet some of these amazing coders and programmers who have helped me along this way. And as I learn this stuff, I would just want to share it with more of you. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you want to know more about something I talked about in this video, or you just want to call me an idiot, please drop a comment down below. I do read all of them, even though I don't respond to all of them. There are a lot of you, but I do my best. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, if you could remember to do that and ring that notification bell, this way you stay up to date on all of this. I'm about to go full-time with all of this. Full-time content creation YouTuber. I'm ready to do this. So the amount of videos I'm going to be putting out is going to go up so much, and I am excited. And that is all because of you guys. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for helping me along this journey, and I hope I'm able to give something back to you now and in the future. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. You have a good day. Hey guys, so not really a blooper here. I kind of realized recently, a day or two ago, that I never said thank you for 500,000 subscribers. I think we did a little bit of a live stream, but I wanted to put it in a video because I think more of you are going to see this anyway. But I moved from England over here back to the East Coast about a little over a year ago now, and that's roughly when I got my 100,000 subscriber plaque. And we're already at 520,000 subscribers. This is, I don't know how to say thank you for all of this. I've said it before. I said it at 10,000 subscribers. I said it at 1,000. Thank you. This is a dream come true. Literally, I'm on the verge of making this a career. I can get out of the military and pursue this full time. And I am so excited. I cannot wait to be able to dive into this. Aim for the million, aim for the 10 million. The sky is the limit, and it's all because of you guys. So this will never mean less to me. I'm excited for the future. So thank you for 500,000. Thank you for 500. I appreciate every single one of you, and I think a lot of you are subscribed to me and follow me and communicate with me because I think you know that. Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good day.